Have you ever been to one of those restaurants where the food actually looks like art? Not exactly what you're making at home on a regular Tuesday night, right? This fancy food became known as Haute cuisine in France in the early 1900s, meaning high cooking. Haute cuisine is known for elaborate presentations and rich sauces. Over the last century, the approach has evolved. First, to Nouvelle cuisine in the 1960s, emphasizing a fresh, minimalist approach with fewer heavy sauces. To new internationalism today, a fusion of French techniques with global flavors. These dishes may look elaborate, but really, at the core, they're inspired by familiar recipes, humble flavors, and surprisingly, modest beginnings. Haute cuisine, Nouvelle, fusion, whatever you call it. Restaurants like this one are churning out some seriously elevated food and turning up the fun in the process. Meet Bob Gerkin and Mike Brown, two of the chefs behind Travail, a restaurant where diners expect the unexpected. I'm really excited to hang out with you guys. Travail, it's like this whole dining experience. You want to tell me a little bit more about it?
You come to the restaurant, you don't know what you're gonna get. Between 12 to 20 courses of food.
Chef-driven, very seasonal, and entertaining.
We're being a little bit playful with the food, a little bit playful with the experience. Bobby and I, we've cooked together for 15 years. We just kind of enjoyed seeing how far we can take it.
I know that you guys put together these incredible menus and they change all the time.
One of the concepts that we did this year was built on the heritage of myself being a Mexican-American and Bob, who is Filipino. We met with our moms and we were like, hey, we want to put together a menu that really kind of showcases the cuisine that we grew up with. What we're trying to put out there is just like a really cool, polished version of what we remember as kids.
Yeah, well, cool, let's start digging in.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna be cutting up some fruit and kind of showing you kind of a fine dining preparation of papaya and pineapple. And I think you and Bob are gonna get in on some halo halo.
A little halo halo. Or mix.
That's what halo halo means.
Yeah, mix. It's ice cream, fruits, jellies, kind of anything you can get your hands on that's nice and sweet, mixed together with a little bit of shaved ice and condensed milk to make this wonderful dessert. Normally a bunch of ingredients. I didn't put a bunch of stuff in it. Just 6 ingredients, but they're full flavor.
The quick breakfast for my mom's family was cut fruit and then some pan, which was basically sweet bread. And they try to sell it to us like it was donuts, but it was not donuts.
All right, we make our ice cream a very different way. You know, we make it in the style of Dippin' Dots.
Oh, wow.
So now this is liquid nitrogen.
So I can't touch it. Ooh.
So this is some creme anglaise. Go ahead and just drizzle it in there. And as that drops in, it'll form a sphere.
Oh, so magical.
Those look great. Let's put this together. We got all ingredients.
Oh, oui, chef.
I gave you halo halo. Perfectly mixed for you.
Yeah, did you see that over there?
Oh, what? Oh, no.
My mom said that whenever she goes back home to the Philippines, this is the first thing she gets.
It was so great.
If someone were to eat this off the street and I'd go, this is halo halo, they'd probably say, no, it's not. But in our setting, I think we kind of hit the mark with this one. It's really nice.
I think the creativity of being a cook is to take something that's part of your life and then you are the filter for it.
Yeah.
You cook from who you are. How you doing over here, chef?
I'm almost done. These are just knife work skills, not your typical way of seeing fruit prepared. This is just a little bit of agave. Think honey, think like maple syrup, kind of drizzle this across. I had a little mixture here. Sometimes it's just sesame seed. Sometimes it can be like little nuts and spices. You guys want to try some fruit?
Yes!
Yeah.
Let's cleanse our palate.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Right where it needs to be.
Yeah, it is.
Delicious.
Are we trying this one too?
We should try the
Oh,
other
yeah,
one.
I think we should try the other one.
I would love to have this
Ching.
right when I wake up.
Yep.
A lot of things that I love about this style is the plate ups. They look fantastic. I really love presenting in a way that you just instantly go, let's do this. Let's eat something.
So when you guys are putting together this menu that was inspired by your moms, you know, like what are some of the essentials where you're like, this has to be on here?
The bean and cheese burrito. But to me, you just can't get any closer to the soul
For you, Bob?
Yeah, pancit. It's just one of those dishes that every time you see it, you gotta eat like a massive bowl. Pancit is a noodle dish. My mom's version.
It's like basic, but insanely delicious.
It's just one of those dishes that's always been there. Every holiday, every birthday. But this is gonna be a seafood dish. So
okay, so you're going to...
yeah, it's a little bit
different
different. But really what I need from you is I need you to shuck some oysters for me.
Oh boy, yeah, I'm not the best at this.
And then we're gonna make a little bit of salad out of all these things. So this is a clam stock, garlic shallot, ginger, celery, and a little bit of squid ink. So we're just gonna chuck this into a little bit of pan and start reducing it.
Okay.
Now we're gonna cook some of the shellfish. We obviously have oysters, some shrimp, some scallops, a little butter in here, and we're just gonna kind of butter cook them.
What are we doing here, dude?
I am building miniature bean burritos. So what's more silly than a bean burrito that's the size of, you know, one of your fingers almost? These are flour tortillas that we've made in-house, rolled out, and then we press them in like a press. And then to order, we cook them on the comal. Basically, taco-sized little flour tortillas.
Okay.
One of the biggest memories of cooking with my mom was making flour tortillas when I was like a little kid, when you can't really do anything and all we're doing is just playing with dough balls. We have these finished ones, and you can feel like the elasticity that has been like added to this now. It's gonna allow us to actually make those folds in the burrito.
So it doesn't tear.
Doesn't tear, and it's like actually has like a really nice kind of, almost like a chew, like a little chewiness to it.
This one's a smiley face.
Look at that.
Bob, what do we got here going?
All right, so we're gonna try to plate up this dish here.
Oh, that's cool. That color's beautiful, man.
Nice and black with squid ink in it.
Oh, look at that.
It's really hard to do it on a white plate because
I know, with the black ink.
You make a mistake,
You will see it.
you're done.
Do you mix it or what do you?
Just dive right in. Should be doing that though. Great chew.
That's so delicious.
All right, we're gonna learn how to fold a bean and cheese burrito.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is just a little bit of bean, and I like to be the person who almost puts just as much cheese in there. When I was a kid, if my dad would make me a bean burrito with cheese, he'd fold it poorly, and then I would say, Dad, can you just have Mom fold the bean burrito because it blow out the end and it's just horrible? So we're gonna go back to the comal.
Okay.
And this time we're bringing our little
Lardon
friend,
or lard.
Lather, yes, lather this area here. Before I like to plate these, I'd like to do a little taste test. Ready?
Yum.
Oh.
Plate job, super simple.
What?
Do the honors.
Oh.
Done.
Yeah. Went to culinary school for that, huh? At the end of the day, what you guys are doing is you're kind of leaving this cooking crumb to go back to this heart of comfort.
Yeah.
You know, bean burritos, pancit, it's about comfort. It's about when you feel joy, when you're happy, when you're feeling safe. Step into my mom's hug. Do you know what? I want to actually go to the heart of it, right? Can I meet your moms?
Absolutely.
They're in town.
Meet Lupe Brown and Shoni Gerkin, the moms who inspired their sons' love of cooking and introduced Mike and Bob to the traditions, flavors, and cultures of Mexico and the Philippines. First up, Bob and his mom, Shoni.
Mama! I brought a friend!
Come on in.
Hi, I'm Yia.
Hi, I'm Bob's mommy.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Shoni.
awesome. Great to meet you. So I've had Bob's version of pancit. I now want to see yours.
Oh, very simple. Mine is very simple.
This is the classic that I've seen my whole life.
Great. Well, I came here to work, so I'm gonna put my apron on and let's get going.
Yeah, so I have the chicken.
Okay,
How do you want me to cut this chicken?
it's just the size bite.
Slice thin? How about like this?
Oh no, not too thin.
Not too thin. You gotta get.
What I love about this is I experienced this too, so I'm like, I'm not alone.
I'm not gonna mess this up.
Yeah. My mom tells me how to do things. I'm like, I'm a professional.
You know how to, the Julian style?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the
So
one.
what I do, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm really nervous now. I don't want to get in trouble.
You better get
Yeah.
that approved.
I slice it this way so it's thin and then
Yeah.
turn around julienne.
Right,
Okay.
that's the right way.
Tell me a little bit about your mom.
Filipino woman from Camp 6, right outside Baguio City in the mountains. She came to the States when she met my dad when she was 22, something like that.
How would you describe your mom's cooking?
My mom's cooking is a fusion of Filipino cooking, a lot of American food. I think my mom's style of cooking really just developed on the people that she's met and the places that she's been. Always adventurous with food. Whenever people cook with love, you remember that for a lifetime, and I think that's what I kind of try to replicate whenever I cook as well.
When did you make pancit in your family here in America?
Every Sunday
Every holiday, every birthday is
has to be.
always there. It's just kind of one of those grounding things that if you're having a celebration, oh yeah, who's gonna do this one? Pancit is a noodle dish. It's kind of like a lo mein, but it's more of a stir-fried dish.
Is yours different from the way your mom makes hers?
Oh yeah.
How?
Actually, the flavors are very similar. So it's more of a seafood version. Looks very different, very similar in flavor. My sister made one,
Yeah,
pancit.
yeah.
What'd you think, Mama?
It's not very good.
Ooh. Ooh.
And then the next day, what did you make? She made some pancit because she wanted my sister to know, like, this is how it's made. I asked for my mom for a recipe for this when I was doing some research. Is there any, like, measurements? No, just
Yeah,
whatever you want.
measurement is
Yeah.
no.
I think you and I will always do that with our moms. What year did you come here?
I came here in 1975, but when I came here, I started learning how to cook here. In Philippines, I don't know how to cook at all because the grandparents or the parents are the one who get up early and cook.
I don't know if I've done a very good job of asking my mom a lot of questions about when she grows up, but whenever she starts rolling, all these stories, it's just very different from my life, so it's fascinating.
I always tell them when they're kids, they're so lucky because kids here have lots of toys. Our toys there is just hoe and shovel.
Well, that's the same thing my parents told us. You know, even though I was born in this refugee camp growing up, my dad would be, oh, my toys? Like, that's like a stick and a rock outside. And then the rest was your imagination. Yeah.
There's a funny story that my mom sometimes tell when you didn't know what the middle finger was because someone gave you the middle finger.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, that's a new sign of peace.
Yeah.
So I told my kids to do it too. So we stick our finger also and
Yeah, there's all these things where it's like, there should have been a handbook, you know, to explain. So, what's the next step?
okay, when we start this, you hit the wok and then saute them and mix it all together and that's it.
Growing up, Bob watching you cook and, everything, did you know or did you have kind of like a thought of him growing up being a professional chef?
No, not at all.
I got into the restaurant business. My brother got me a job at a buffet place.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, and I was a salad bar attendant. And 3 months later, a cook quit. And he was like, dude, just come up to the line. You're gonna be the next fry cook. I said, perfect. And it was just fast. And when we were getting pummeled, I was keeping up. And I was 16, and it was like one of those times that I found that I was like, wow, I'm good at something. I got some chicken stock.
Put all of it,
All of it?
all of it, and then put more,
Put more?
put more.
Dude, I'm concentrating too much. I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to mess this up.
Do you feel like you're back in culinary school
Yeah.
and your instructor's just staring
Just
at you?
watching me. So we're separating some of these vegetables and proteins and leaving the liquid that has all that flavor of everything right on top. And these are just gonna soak in all this stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons.
1, 2-ish. Yeah.
That's too little.
Sorry.
Yeah, man.
My apologies. Just, that's what I'm showing you.
Some more. Pour some more. Okay, that's good.
You got it. That's like
And then taste, and then
quarter
soy
cup.
sauce.
2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons. Well done. Look at that. Look at that sucker. That's a big plate of that.
Yeah.
We had a great coach today.
Great
with us,
coach.
Yeah.
All this work, let's eat.
Perfect. Yummy.
Yummy.
So first of all, Shoni, this is delicious. This is so great. I think what's so cool about pancit is how you guys are saying this is a dish made when there's a family gathering. And look
Yeah.
at us, we're
Yeah.
eating this around a group of people.
Gatherings, absolutely.
What does it mean for you to be able to do this and then pass it down to your son, Reese?
When he gets a little bit older, he'll be able to look at this dish, which he's gonna learn by heart, the original,
The original.
and he's gonna think of me. He's gonna think of my mom. And he's gonna think about these moments and he's gonna reflect back and go, yeah, I'm gonna pass this down. I think that's always been the goal. It's a lot of things I do with Reese, so.
Thank you for welcoming into your house, your family, gathering, eating together. And Shoni, thank you so much for sharing this dish with me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and so since we're here meeting your mom, I'm gonna go meet up with Mike and his mom and see what they have for me.
You're gonna have a good time.
Later, dude.
Thank you.
Come on in. My mom's making tortillas and beans. Hey, Mom, you want to meet a new friend?
Sure.
I'm Yia.
Hey, I'm Lupe.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Mucho gusto. We're making Mexican refried beans.
So Lupe, is there a certain kind of beans we're using when
yes.
we're doing this?
Pinto.
Okay, always pinto?
Mexicans use pinto beans. Yes,
Okay.
for sure.
Well, what are pinto beans?
They're not those.
Those aren't pinto beans?
No, those are not pinto beans.
Grab them. I swear to, those are pinto beans, no?
Yeah, those are. I think those are red beans.
No, look. They got the marking on them, no?
Oh, let's all look.
That's a pinto, no?
Not the ones I use.
Ooh.
But it's okay. It's okay. They're gonna be just as good.
So what's the process? How did we get here?
You soak them overnight, then you just cook them the next day. I don't usually do a carrot and a celery, but that's his little added
Where did you learn how to make this dish?
from my grandma.
Okay.
Yes, because she had restaurants, Mexican restaurants.
So my food influence is definitely inspired by both sides of my family. My mom's side, they had restaurants. They had owned these restaurants since like the 1930s or something like that. Full service Mexican restaurants. My mom's beginnings in like just having a job was serving food and making, you know, this Mexican cuisine that became prominent and real in Southern California somewhere in like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, right?
So you know the beans are cooked when you just kind of push them up to the side and they mash easily. Then you can go ahead and add oil and mash.
First things first, pig fat, lard. So we put it right inside here and we're just gonna heat it up.
And this is the refried part. You know, you refried beans, this is why, because you're adding fat and letting it simmer.
I like to just put a little bit of peppers in there and a little bit of garlic just in the pork fat. Right, you'll see it sizzle and then we'll pour it right into the beans. And it just adds a little of that extra, like, just a little of that extra flavor, that little vegetable flavor.
Start mashing.
Oh man, here
Start
we go.
mashing.
And then scrape the bottom too so it doesn't.
Yeah, as you mash, you're using the
Scrape
flat to kind of like move everything on the bottom.
Was this also a dish that was done every day in the house, or
Yeah,
is this just at the
always
restaurant?
beans, just like in your house is probably always rice.
Yep.
Yeah, we always said beans.
You can smell them when you come home. Like, beans. To me, Mexican cuisine, it was always built off the idea of how good they could make beans, how well they could do like salsa, how well they could, you know, do some of these things that like actually involves some like serious like cooking time and like building of flavors into something. And beans are like the best cue to take. You're like, all right, this is legit. We're gonna go straight perfectly made beans with house-made tortillas and Chihuahua cheese.
Good.
So
It's delicious.
this is where we're gonna have a battle on salt content.
You and your mom?
A little bit. Mom, after tasting the beans, do you think it needs a little more salt? I have my opinion right now. What is your opinion?
A little bit more, yes.
I think it needs a little more salt.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Ready.
Tell me when to stop.
Okay. A little more?
More than that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to get in trouble.
Let's taste. Yep. Taste.
Bro.
There's something about good beans and cheese that it's just like eating good soup. Like you just can't get any closer to the soul with certain types of food, right? My brother and I lived on bean burritos, like hardcore. We were really into them, and we've told people in our lives that we are legitimately 1/4 of our being has been built and sustained by bean and cheese burritos. So like what you're looking at right now is 1/4 bean and cheese burrito.
So we have the tortilla here, and first we're starting with the dough. What's in the dough?
Flour, water, salt, and a little bit of oil.
And when she says oil, she means lard.
So what's the trick here to rolling on tortillas?
Sort of start in the middle and work your
Okay.
way out, okay?
Yep. Quick question, how do you know the thickness?
Oh, you can go as thin or thick as you want. I like them thin.
Yeah, we're thin to
We're
win.
the thin tortilla
Thin to
family.
win. Ever since the beginning of Travail, I have always preached that it's just connection. It's connection to the food, connection to the staff, to the cooks, and then cutting out everything that's in between you and us. We started our restaurant basically like a family restaurant. We came from competitive like fine dining backgrounds, and we were putting a lot of that into our food and a lot of that into like the standard of how we were cooking. But like the whole structure of how the actual business ran was like a mom and pop shop.
Your turn.
Okay, I'm a little scared.
Sprinkle a little flour here.
Yes, ma'am.
Do this. I just do it that way, and then turn it. Do it one more time. There you go. And then just start rolling. In. So go up, and then go down. Go back to the middle, down, flip. Are you sure you haven't done this before?
Here, though.
No, but I've done this with like a mom over me, so I'm always. Yeah. One thing I'm learning right now is like making tortillas is no joke. So now we wait. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wait for
Looking
the
for
bubbles.
bubbles.
Oh. We flip.
Yeah, flip. There you go. There
Looks
you go.
good.
Looks good. Yeah. Throw it on the pile.
Do you know this is
Now-
my first flour tortilla I've ever made?
I love it.
Awesome.
Don't eat it. Put it on the pile. It's essential so that they steam out together.
Okay.
And then we can make the salsa. Yeah, that's gordito salsa. Let's start making burritos.
Yeah, we chef. Good.
Flame it. So we're toasting away.
And then turn it.
Flip it. Just heating it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right here flat.
Put however much you want.
More?
That's good. You can add cheese.
Cheese them up.
So what kind of cheese is this?
Chihuahua.
Okay, so is it?
Yeah, you gotta fold it, Mom. You gotta
Okay.
show them
Oh,
the
yeah, I
fold.
can't.
Because this is the biggest deal. This is where the gringos get
kinda
real like
Tuck it
confused.
in like you're putting the burrito to bed. See? And then you roll it. Wow, see how nice that
And
is?
then you just pour it in
It's
the top.
tucked in there nicely. That's it.
Well, this is awesome. Should we just all dig in, or?
Yeah, I think I'm hungry. Here, try this one. Delicious.
So, Mike, what's your way of eating it compared to your mom's way of eating it?
My mom made certain ones that have everything inside. I like it just bean and cheese, and then I put everything on the outside.
So, boys, do you like helping your dad in the kitchen when he's cooking?
Yes,
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
They're my little prep cooks.
Lupe, is it amazing to be able to watch your grandsons talk about this, like a legacy that started from your grandmother, goes down to your mom, it's to you, and then it's passed to Mike. And then, I mean, think of all the generations, right? So how does that make you feel when you're hearing this?
It's awesome. It reminds me of me when I was a kid. They're just used to it. It's part of their life, restaurant, being a part of the restaurant, helping Dad cook, eating what Dad cooks. It's just really cool.
It's so cool, man. Thank you so much for opening up your house to me. Lupe, thank you so much for teaching me how to make my first tortilla, make my first bean burrito.
Now you know.
Yeah, now I don't have to go through this late night drive-through anymore. You know.
Thank you.
We had fun, man.
Yeah, we
This
had
was
fun.
great.
Now we're gonna eat all the burritos.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how fancy the food is, or what it looks like on the plate, or what you call it. Well, I guess it does matter what you call it, because what I call it is love on a plate.
There are more great stories to relish. Stream now on the PBS app.